right, Mike. Year 2 for you and Coach. What is your expectations this year, and how will things improve?
Just to get better, really. From day one, I've just said I wanted to see improvement. Improvement in the culture and the way we're doing things around here. Improvement on the ice, individual improvement. So from the players. So that's pretty much the goal. I haven't really ever wanted to put a number on anything as far as how we're going to do standings wise or things like that. I just want to see the things we're working on that we're getting better each day.
Mike, it's only been day 1, but considering all the new faces that's here now in this team, do you think that the chemistry and this team's ability to gel will come sooner or later in the season?
You hope it comes sooner. This year we got a full training camp. Last year with the trip to Europe, it was cut short a little bit. We had to speed it up, but we're hoping. We had a lot of guys in here early in the captain skates. Guys were excited to get here, so hopefully that'll help. But you never know. Sometimes when you play with players, it clicks right away. Other times it takes a little bit of time. So hopefully we want it to happen quickly, but it's not something you can kind of force.
A lot can change for a player, a couple months of the summer training, that sort of thing. Just anybody stand out to you, just like looks different out there, be it performing on the ice or has gotten stronger or has gotten slimmer, just in general, general impressions of everybody?
No, I think a lot of guys had good summers, to be honest. I think Barbie looks good. He put a lot of time in. I think Quinny asked him to work on a few things this summer, and he looks stronger and quicker out there. Nicky Knizhov, I think, looks more confident. Having all the injuries he's had over the last couple of years, I think him having a full summer of training has helped him. He looks good, and then we'll also add Nikita Okdiuk in there, we didn't get to see at the end of the year through injury, but it's good to see him skating the way he was skating today. He looks healthy and confident as well. So a lot of guys had good summers, and those are a few that kind of jumped a little bit today.
Like, I know you said you don't want to put a number on sort of win-loss total, but what does success look like for you this year? What does progress look like as you go from year 1 to year 2 here?
It's similar to what I said. It's players getting better, us playing better as a team consistently throughout the year. I know it's something Quinny and the staff has addressed being better defensively and things like that. We had a lot of defensive breakdowns that cost us games last year, so being better defensively. But just getting better. It's when I was playing it, everyone it was kind of said that the league wasn't a developmental league, but now it's kind of shifted, so we have to hopefully see guys improve and develop a little bit at the NHL level, and for us that's a win, and hopefully by doing that we'll get a few wins along the way.
So Mike, this time last year it was a lot of celebration for the historic moment for you. How does it feel now that a year's gone by? Do you feel like it's easier now to do your general managing?
It's not easier, no. I think I'm still learning, and I'm fortunate enough to have a great group of people around me helping me and kind of navigate my way through. But your first year is definitely a little bit of a whirlwind and a lot of things thrown at you. So second year, I guess there's a little bit more comfort of knowing, I guess, what the job entails and what you're getting into, but it's still a challenging task, not only for me, but for my staff as a whole.
For a lot of the guys that you brought in, guys like Granlund and Hoffman, there's a lot of focus on their offensive numbers and that sort of thing. But I wonder about these newcomers, the importance of them in the locker room and their professionalism, and what that's going to mean potentially for younger players like William or Thomas Bordeleau to be a part of that, to watch them.
Yeah, it's really important for young players to have people they can look up to. Then I guess you kind of call them good pros, right? So they learn how to what to eat, what these guys are eating, what they're doing after practice, what they're doing before practice, what they're doing during practice. Just all the little things that you need to pick up along the way in professional sports to survive and make a living off it, which I know all our young guys want to do. So we're fortunate to have some good people in that we brought in, last year than this year. Kyle Burrows and Granlund, Ruda. Those guys are, good pros. Guys that we can be pretty happy that our young players will be able to look to them, and even for some of our skilled younger players to have Duke here will be good. He's someone who's gone through the ups and downs of being a 19-year-old and making the team out of camp in New York, and then having to go back down, and then getting traded and bounced around and waivers and all these things. Now he's found his game, so he's a good example for perseverance and what it takes in this league. And maybe you think the league's easy because you make it early or have success early, but it's a tough league and it's tough to stay in. So I think we're fortunate to have some older guys in here, and the older guys that are coming back are also, we'll definitely lean on them, from Logan to Tomas to Sturmy to Benny, guys like that. We'll definitely lean on them as well.
Mike, the Carlson trade obviously brought some much-needed cap room for this team. So how far are you along with the whole cap? And, how much closer do you want to be to where you're at with that?
Well, right now I think we definitely have some flexibility, and part of the deal was to be able to have the ability to maybe take advantage of a situation if it arises where a team's in cap trouble and they need to, maybe move a player to free up some cap space. Now we can be one of those teams that, that club will reach out to and see if we can help them out, and by doing that maybe we can, get a prospect or a young player or a pick back in return. So it's nice just to have that option available to us.
Mike, obviously, like you talked before, there's a lot of roster churn, obviously from last season. There's the potential that exists to go into next year with a lot of new faces as well. I mean, does there come a point where maybe you start wanting to sort of re-sign some of these guys, and does it make sense to extend a Duclair or Barabanov when maybe you're in the middle of a plan that is more of a long-term type situation? I mean, how do you kind of look at those UFAs, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we'll look at them all individually, but no, you're right. There's definitely some merit into thinking about extending those guys, and having around here. We'll definitely keep an eye on how they're fit in with the group, and if they're doing the things that we want, culture-wise in here, and being examples like we talked about earlier. It's definitely something that's on the table. As we kind of transition here, like you said, we got a lot of UFAs, and we have some young guys that are kind of knocking on the door, and one of these years these guys will be ready to play, and we'll be a young team, but we're also going to need some vets around them to like we said, show them the way and show them how things are done, and support them on the ice and off the ice. You don't want to have these young guys come in and all of a sudden we're like, all right, you got to score such a goals for us, you got to be power play one. It's a lot. It's hard enough just to stay in the league and kind of find your way so we don't want to dump all the responsibility on these kids when they are ready.
When do you hope to kind of come out of this, I guess, the rebuild, if you want to use that word?
It's tough to kind of put an exact time frame on it. I think our young players will determine a lot of that. I think it's a good experience for them at camp now, for the first time guys like Casper and Luca and Quentin. So once those guys, and from the Gushkins to the Coes to the Bordelos, Mock Madulin, all these guys, and then you look at the Cam Lunds and Bystad and Havlet and Will Smith. There's a lot of young players that we're really excited about, but we don't want to rush them. But when they're ready, I think that's kind of when we'll start looking, hopefully, to turn the page and start pushing this thing forward and becoming a Stanley Cup contender again.
Mike, there's a big game here in Santa Clara County in a couple hours. Are you living here now? Are you a 49ers fan, or your brother's over in Miami? You're a Miami fan.
You're being recorded now.
Yeah, I know. It's Dolphins all the way. Dolphins all the way. Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I'll take a Dolphins 49ers Super Bowl. That'd be good. How about that?
I think it would be.
You talked a little bit, I think we asked you this before about Logan. You said how much important he is to sort of the culture of this team. Is that, is it fair to say you want to keep Logan and Tomas around, or are you open if if they come to you or you go to them about potentially moving on, I mean, is that at all a discussion for you?
I mean, I think I have a good relationship with both of them, and I love having them around. From their personality to their leadership, to their work ethic, and just the general good people that they are. It's great to have them around. But like I did when I first got the job, I check in with them a lot, and if there ever were to come a time when they felt like they needed or wanted to go somewhere else, then it's definitely something I would listen to, and if it made sense for us, then I would explore it. But as of right now, I'm happy that they're part of our group.
Do you get every sense that they're both fully on board with what you're doing?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been a good. Like I said, I got a good relationship with them. Logan was here all summer, so we talked a bunch, and Tomas, we talked on the phone a couple times, and I think they're all. I think they're all in. I think they enjoy working with Quinny and the coaching staff, and I think they're excited by some of the young players that we have around, and the kind of the prospects of what lies ahead. So, as of right now, I think they're all in a good headspace, and hopefully that continues.
Are you optimistic Logan can be ready for the start of the season, or is that still too early to say?
Yeah, I'm optimistic, but at the same time, it's it's an 82-game season, and if he's not ready for the first week of the season, then that's we'll deal with it. So we won't rush him back. Hopefully he's ready, but if he's not, then I think that especially this year, I think we got enough depth to handle it with someone like Granlund having the ability to slide into that role.
Do you have enough puck moving in the back end right now? Obviously with Eric gone, but just by committee, do you have enough?
We'll see. Eric did such a great job for us getting us out of our own end, and I think it's something that we hope we have enough. We'll see. Guys will definitely get the opportunity, and hopefully, sometimes it's easy when you have a guy like Eric on your team. It's just bump it over to him. He'll get us out of the zone. So now there's some responsibility on the other D and the D as a whole to kind of make some plays and try and up their game. But we'll see. I think every team pretty much is looking for puck moving D and guys who can get their team out of their end, and we're no different really.
Coach, Mike, for the fans out there that may be disappointed that Burnsy's gone and then now Carlson's gone, what would you say the brand of hockey that you're trying to put together for the fans here in San Jose?
Well, it's I've always said I wanted to play a kind of a fast, in your face type of hockey, and that's what we're building. I think it was an exciting brand for the fans last year. We didn't, especially at home, we didn't win enough games at home, but I think for the most part, I think fans probably went home entertained. We played fast. We were probably a little too loose at times, and it cost us some games, but the fast-paced style of hockey is what we want, and I think we'll keep getting better at playing that brand of hockey as the guys get into year 2 with Quinny's system, and the tweaks that he and the staff has made. Hopefully we'll tighten things up a little bit, but I think it's a style of hockey I think that people enjoy coming to the rink and watching.
Just to kind of clarify something, is Holchuk waivers eligible, or does he need to?
Who's that? Sorry.
Nikita Holchuk?
Yeah, he's got to go on waivers.
He's got to go on waivers. Does that make for it could make for a tough decision maybe down the road if obviously he's a guy you don't want to necessarily try to lose. Looks like he's a good.
Right. Yeah. No. We're gonna definitely have some tough decisions to make on the back end and up front, but that's what I've wanted from day one, is to have competition in here, internal competition where guys are pushing themselves, and the guys from underneath are pushing up to grab a spot, and you got to play well. It's the best league in the world for a reason, and no one should have a spot in the league or in the lineup given to them. So that's what we're trying to create here, is a atmosphere and of competition, and I think we have that this year, and it will definitely lead to some tough decisions down the road.
Now, who stood up for you at rookie face-off, and any of those players, do you expect any of those rookie face-off players to compete for NHL job?
Well, we'll have to see how camp goes. I thought Casper and Quentin both played well. I think it's an adjustment when you come from junior and you realize how fast guys are and how strong they are. But I thought they both kind of showed well. They pushed back, they didn't back down, and they both played their games. They played different style of games, but I thought Casper did a good job getting open and trying to use his shot and being physical when he needed to be. And Quentin made some high-end plays, and he finally got rewarded at the end of the day. So I thought those guys played well. I thought Shaq played really well all 3 games. To your question earlier, he's been more aggressive and more assertive in that camp and even at practice today. So he's getting accustomed to playing over here. Eki was great in his 1 game. I thought Henry was solid too. I don't know, I'll leave someone on our boards. Obviously had a good 2nd game. Felix Gagnon earned a chance to come to the main camp because he played 3 really good games. And I thought Cronin and Romanoff both played great in the 2 games we won. So apologies to someone else. I'm sure I left someone out, but those guys, they played well.
So, Mike, I got a quick question.
You got time for a couple more here.
All right, if you had a player on the Barracuda that was on the All-Star team down there and it's going to be here at Tech U, would you be kind of caught in a quandary to call them up to the Sharks or let them play in that All-Star game since it's here in San Jose?
It's a good question. At the end of the day, doing what's best for the organization and the Sharks NHL club is probably comes first, but the game is, these are people and human beings, and it's an honor to be in an all-star game at no matter what level it is. So it would be a conversation for sure, and I think I'd involve the player in it as well.
It's a bit odd to see Ryan Miller in some Sharks gear here out there. What does it mean to have him on your staff now?
It's great. Millsy was, a good friend and good teammate, and just playing with him, seeing how he saw the game. He was so thoughtful about how he saw the game and the goalie position and analytical about it. And if you look at his style and his history in the game, every so many years he changed his style and was able to adapt to the way the game was played. And whether that was, when he was younger, being super aggressive, and then, slowly backing in and playing more in the blue paint and things like that, he kind of adjusted his style. So I'm really excited to have him. As you guys can probably see today, he was excited to be out there on the ice for all 3 sessions. I told him he didn't have to do that, but he's itching to work and get to know these guys, and I think he'll be a good year for the management and myself, but also for Nabby and Spearsy, and most importantly the goalies in the system.
I just asked, when did you first find out Logan? When did you first find out Logan wasn't going to be available for the starting camp?
Sometime last week.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, thanks guys.